Good morning and welcome, good people of Delta State. Today is the 22nd day in the month of November, and we're still in the year 2023. Yes, right now we're having a good morning, a lovely morning here in the studios at Ughelli. Ughelli is a peaceful place this morning, but I do hope you're having a lovely Wednesday morning wherever you are or wherever you're hearing my voice from. With that being said, it is now time for us to look into the dailies and see what the headlines have for us this morning. My name is Orikemi Mariam, and welcome to the newspaper review here on Quest Today. Making a return back to the studios this morning, we have four newspapers. We have the Nation newspaper, the Nigerian Tribune, the Punch newspaper, as well as the paper you can trust, the Daily Trust. And yes, it's a full house here. There's a full house here in the studios. I have my colleague, the person of Alex Ogbonaya, and the unordained bishop, or the man who is never going to become a bishop at all, Comrade A.K. Odomo. Good morning, gentlemen.
I'm going to get cracked on the business.
Nothing is going to happen. Nothing.
You are sure?
Take it to court.
I will prove you wrong.
Hello, Alex, and how are you doing? All right. Well, with that being said, the first paper for review is The Nation. And on the front page of The Nation newspaper this morning, the major headline reads, Government asks Supreme Court to extend old Naira notes lifespan. Yes, it's making the headlines there. The writer says nation risks return to currency squeeze crisis, and Apex Court fixes November 30th for hearing. You can get all of this on the front page and continue that story on page 4 of The Nation. But moving above the masthead, we have some banner headlines. It says, the first says 5,000 kilometers of pipelines vandalized. Kyari laments that is such a huge loss. But get more details on page 29. And on page 28, 1,633 mining operators forfeit licenses. Alake goes tough. And moving away from that, factionalized Rivers lawmakers in separate sittings. Quite an interesting one there. It seems as though there's different groups right now, but you can read that on page 4. And Senate OK's minority leadership in rowdy session is making it to page 2 of The Nation. Fake injection in circulation is also making it down the front page. To get more details on that, you can go to page 2. And also, federal government targets $10 billion ship charter market is also making it to the front page. We'll get more details on that on page 6. On security, our challenges by service chiefs and IG is a headline there on the front page of the Punch, but do also get more details on that on page 28. And from Wiki, I have saved 110 billion naira for FCT. It's making it there on the front page as well. Federal government needs $35 billion for 30-kilometer concrete road. It's also making it there on the front page of The Nation newspaper. And for the picture of the day, we can see President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, addressing the participants at the German-Nigerian forum they had in Berlin yesterday. And the headline there states that Nigerian companies signed $500 million power and gas projects with German firms. You can get more details on that on page 28. And that's much we can take on the front page of The Nation.
Okay, let's move on to Daily Trust newspaper. Confusion over contradictions in CTC of appeal court judgment sacking Kano governor. That's the lead story on the front page of the Daily Trust. It's typographical error. Governor's Council, APC chieftain. Only Supreme Court will interpret it, says Governor Yusuf's lawyer. You can get all of that on page 5. And staying with Kano, Kano stands still for Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf on arrival from Abuja. Mammoth crowd coming out to welcome him. And directly below the masthead now, reps indict NPA, NNPC, NBET, others over 14 trillion naira contingent liabilities. Osun government spends 2 billion naira on meals, welfare, runs office with 6 billion naira in 3 months. Uproar in Senate over minority leadership seats. That's also on the front page of the Daily Trust. The full gist can be found on page 10 of the paper. And I think that's all from the Daily Trust newspaper. Over to you, Miriam.
All right, the next paper review is the Nigerian Tribune. And on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning, the major headline there is a screamer. It says insecurity. It says service chiefs blame judiciary for freeing suspects. Comrade, I'm sure. Are you sure, comrade?
I'm not.
Are you sure you're not a comrade?
Like one.
I nearly mistaken you for.
All right, the writers that says expose how warders collude with Boko Haram suspects, express concern over activities of Simon Ekpa in Southeast, call for special courts to prosecute insurgents, and also coming from the IGP, I inherited a battered police force. Yes, get more details on that on page 13. Moving above the masthead, Nigeria and Germany signed $500 million pacts for renewable energy and gas exports. More details on that on page 6. And Wire approved Naira redesign coming from Buhari, says Nigerians hold leadership hostage. Yes, you can read more details on that on page 4. And still sticking to page 4, minority leadership seats, it says Senate in rowdy session as Labour Party kicks. Yes, I did follow this on the social media space yesterday, but get more details on that on page 4. Moving on, we have PDP lost local government poll in Ogun because I rejected plots to bribe police and INEC, says Obasanjo. Yes, quite a bold one there, but you can get more details on page 8. And Nigeria targets $10 billion ship charter market. The writer that says as Oyetola meets marine and blue economy stakeholders. Get more details on that on page 6. Revs approved $73.96 as oil benchmark for 2024 fiscal year. It's making it to page 2. And Lagos government didn't finance someone lose legal battle, says a commissioner. More details on that on page 8. Federal government revokes 1,633 mining titles and warns illegal miners. It's also making the rounds on the dailies this morning, but you can get more details on that on page 8. And the final headline here on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune, NNPC unable to pump oil from Warri to Benin in 22 years. This is a statement coming from Kiari. We'll get more details on that on page 7. And that's much you can take on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune.
Okay, finally we go straight to the Punch newspaper. Quite a punchy one on this front page. Corridor, I know you like this.
Yes.
State spend 1.7 trillion naira on trips, meals, others. Borrow 988 billion naira.
I don't know why exactly you like
Quite
like
expensive.
I'm not part of the contingent.
Must have been eating lobsters.
You know. Okay, it's an interesting one. You can read up all of that on page 21, or rather, is it 21 now? 23 of the Punch newspaper. And this one is quite disturbing. Ghetto in paradise, Abuja pupils learn in shirts, endure dumps order. I have a picture here, quite a very disturbing one. Okay, vandals to die by hanging, accomplice barred 16 years. You want to know where that happened? You have to turn to page 5 of the Punch newspaper. $35 billion needed to execute concrete road project. That's according to Umahi. Sanwo-Olu denies fraud, assembly orders probe. That's you can get that story on page 26. Something sure is brewing there. Okay, above the masthead, federal government revokes 1,633 mining licenses, vows to sanitize sector. The story is apparently in all the papers. The full is on page 21. Nigeria, Germany signed $500 million renewable energy gas deal. That's on page 20. And finally, insecurity, military blames forex, demands special courts for terrorists. Okay, that's that from the Punch newspaper.
All right, at this point, we're looking at the headlines on the front page of the things I mentioned earlier, which is the Nation newspaper, the Nigerian newspaper, the Punch, as well as the Daily Trust. It is now time for you to call into the show. Yes, it's now time for you to call into the show and have your say regarding any of the headlines that made the rounds. The numbers are there on your screen, and they still remain the same for those on radio: 081 88 888 931 and 08022 931 931. Yes, right now we'll take our first call for the day. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, like I said earlier on, the number still remains 081 88 931 and 08022 931 931. But before I allow those calls, before we take those calls, let's move on to Comrade to enlighten us on some of the headlines interesting ones this morning, especially. Let's start with the Nation newspaper. Let's talk about money. Yes, because
I'm a chartered accountant. So yes.
Yes.
I studied money management too,
Okay, so government asked Supreme Court to extend old Naira notes lifespan. Well, at this point from it, what is truly going on? Because at this point, it's as though we're already experiencing some sort of Naira scarcity. Yes. So what exactly is going on right now with the old Naira notes and the scarcity?
Nigeria will like speculation so much that it is becoming a norm in our daily system. The old Naira belongs to the federal government. The new Naira notes belongs to the federal government. You want to do away with one and retain one, and you are making it to be scarce to people. Why not evolve that policy that for every old Naira you deposit, they give you a new one? Why must they say you should deposit those ones and they will not give you the correct value or the same value in the new note? Something must be wrong with that somewhere. That one does not call for any form of scarcity of the notes. Because before they will come out to say they want to redesign and push the new ones into the market, they should have had enough in the reserve. Okay, if that is not done, why seize this money from people? You know the losses people made then when they were taking 40% for every money you take. When the policy was not eased out, was that money refunded to the people? The answer is no. Those who took the risk then became millionaires overnight. Because I know one man in my area who took that risk of bring all your old Naira notes. If you give him 1,000, he gives you 600. If you give him 10 million, he gives you 6 million. People were saying that this man doesn't know what he's doing. But when they now reverse the policy at the end of the day, the man became an instant millionaire. That's what they call instant hit. This is another situation we are snowballing into. The Yuletide period is almost here. It's even not almost now. Now you are now bringing in this hiccups again into the quality of the people. Look, what do they want from the masses actually? I don't understand. How many dead bodies goes into the ground before the ground will say that it's tired of receiving dead bodies? How many types of punishment do they want to make towards all Nigerians before they know that we have suffered enough?
Okay, still keeping it real and still talking about money. You saw the headline on the front page of the Punch. Alex did say you would like you would like that headline, yes.
Because you like meals a lot.
Yeah, comrade, you do like meals a lot. It says a state spends 1.7 trillion naira on trips, meals, and others, and also go ahead to borrow 988 billion naira, 1.7 million naira to finance the same meals. But it says as though we have a caller online, comrade. Yes, let's just take this call. Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Yes, your name and your location.
Morning, ma. Good morning, West. Mr. Domo, morning, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Mama, sir. Mr. Friday calling from Ezobono.
Yes. Mr. Friday, please, you have about a minute.
I just want to say that God should bless Nigerians because the situation we are now, we are being discouraged. But we have to encourage ourselves with the word of God, believing that there will be light at the end of the tunnel. So let us be hopeful. God bless this country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Friday. That's a very good one. We applaud that as well. There is always hope at the end of the tunnel, and God bless Nigerians.
Not Gaza's tunnel.
Comrade, let's stick to Nigeria. But let's see if we can take one or two more calls. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. All right, well, we'll still wait for those calls. Don't forget the numbers are there on your screen: 08188888931 and 0802931 Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Welcome on board. Your name and your location, please.
This is Chief Duku from Ekrejevo.
All right, Chief Duku, please have your say.
Yeah, we have rowdy session at the Senate because of appointment of minority leaders. You see that the impunity that is happening in this country is now in everywhere. How can the Senate president or the the ruling party choose leaders for the minorities? It is not done anywhere in the world, because they know that those people that they can compromise, they now force them on the minority. No, the minority have their own way of picking leadership. So you don't just because you have the advantage of being the majority leader or being the Senate president, you dictate for the minority. It's not done anywhere. And even without all this session, there's no autumn of accepting that they did the wrong thing. They are still standing on their ground. So when we have confusion there, and the executive already has the confusion, the judiciary is disarray, then where do we go as a nation? I mean, the way the politicians are scattering this country, this one, we should do something about it. That is true. Thank you very much.
Duku, but yes, time is no longer our side. Comrade, please take react to this. Yes.
Majority will always have their way. Yes.
Wait, let me take that again. Minority will always have
their say.
Okay.
Majority will always have their way.
Comrade, I believe you've said everything in a nutshell. But yes, we have to log out of this session. Sorry, we couldn't take more calls today. We had some sort of some sort of issues, technical issues at the back, but don't worry, that will be resolved before the big story. But yes, thank you very much, Comrade, for coming on air with me today. And Alex.
Yeah, thank you.
Maybe we always have our say. Why we always have our own way here?
No, I'm not in the minority. Well, I'm not in the minority.
You are just one female. We are two males.
Behind every woman is an army.
Successful men.
An army. But yes, Comrade, thank you very much for coming on air with me today. And also at this point, we also want to thank the Vanguard newspapers for sponsoring the paper review here on Quest. From me, my crew, have yourself a lovely, lovely Wednesday. And bye for now.